Carlos Nelson with Cascade Media and Cascade Sports. And tonight we have, I want to let all my people know, this is one of my special coaches. I go back a long way with this man, Coach Mike Hilbert of Lee Summit North. Hey, Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Carlos. And I was thinking about that tonight. I was thinking about when we first met, and I think it was close to 20 years ago. I think it was maybe 2001, 2002, somewhere in that vicinity. It was at the Fred Pullman Fieldhouse.
Right, we were over at Penn Valley. You were up in the stand. People say different things about you as it relates to coach, but hey, you players, let me tell you this. Everybody sleep, and Coach Hilbert is over there at Penn Valley scouting. Y'all not playing yet, but he's over there at the top of the bleachers taking notes and scouting the teams that are playing. And that's what coaches do.
Yeah, I think it was Friday after Thanksgiving. It was the Thanksgiving Fred Pullman Classic, and the IL schools were playing, and we were going to match up with, I can't remember if we were playing.
They usually have Lincoln Prep versus Hogan back in the day. That was the hot item. Hey, Coach, who you got with you today?
Sure. We have two seniors, Carlos. We have Simon Murray, senior guard, senior wing, play out on the wing for us. And then
he's giving us the high sign. All right. That's what's up.
And then Jeremy Moore. Jeremy Moore is also a senior. He's probably going to be playing a little closer to the basket this year for us because we've added a couple kids that didn't play.
He's one of your big men, or what's going on with him?
Yeah, no, he's a post, but at the same time, he can kind of stretch the floor and face up and play out on the perimeter a little bit also.
All right, well, let's get busy. Hey, Simon, I'm coming in on you, partner. All right.
Yes, sir.
So what I would say to you, first of all, I want you to go back to, let's go to kindergarten and go all the way up to where you're at and talk about some of the coaches that have affected your play and help you build your skill set.
Yeah, for sure. I think some of the main people in my life, you said starting at kindergarten, obviously my father helped me to get my start and helped me.
Tell our audience what your mother, and Jeremy, you remember this. My audience don't know your mom and dad. So tell our audience who they are, their names, because a lot of adults look at this. They say, oh, I saw your son on Cascade Sports, and he mentioned you, gave you a big shout out. All right, make your move.
Right. Yeah, my dad's name is Wardell Murray Jr.
Shout out, Junior. Go ahead.
Yeah, shout out my dad.
Go ahead.
But as for coaches, as I got older, Cortez Groves was a main coach in my life, and he's over in Australia coaching right now. Ross Borelli. And
where were they coaching? What teams? Mention the team and the coach so the people bring it together.
Well, I played for Cortez with Next Level Basketball, and then with Ross at Next Level Basketball as well. And then I played for Brandon Burgett for 2 or 3 years.
Oh, Coach, you got that going on. You look at Coach. You got that going on, don't you? All right,
sure.
Go ahead.
You obviously know Brandon played for us at Lee Summit North back in the middle 2000s. And it's a strong connection with Brandon and some of the current players.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, and then I played for Marcus Denman Elite last year or 2 years ago, and that was under Marty Freeman. He was a good guy. So those are the main characters.
You feel that they get, not just that you play. My whole thing is when I'm asking you that, you can play for a lot of people, but who influenced you? Who was there to help you raise your level of play and skill set?
Right. Yeah. No, I think everybody on that list has acquired that goal and has helped me to get where I am today. But Cortez Groves was the guy who was with me for, since I was about 8 years old.
All right. Now let's get to where the rubber meets the road. Have you played all 4 years at Lee Summit North?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Run down your freshman season. And when I say run it down, tell me how you performed, how the team performed, and then run it all the way down to this season.
Yeah, so coming in as a freshman, I played for, I think we had a freshman A and B team, and I played for the A team. And I know we won some games, lost some games, but overall in that year, it was more about getting acclimated to playing high school basketball and playing sports like that. And sophomore and junior year, I played on JV. Junior year, I played a little bit of varsity. But I definitely, as I got going throughout the high school experience,
All right, let me cut you off again.
Yeah.
You say you played as a sophomore, you played a lot of JV. Did you get any varsity play as a sophomore?
No, not as a sophomore. As a junior, I did.
All right. Now, this is what I want you to tell our audience. Put yourself go back in the time machine. Put yourself in the frame of mind when you got that first start. Tell our audience what that was like. When coach said, it's your turn.
Start on JV, you mean?
No. Starting, just in general. Or play your first varsity appearance, even if it was a sub appearance. What was your frame of mind so that our other athletes, they can see where you were, where you came from, and where you're at now?
This program is brought to you by the City of Fountains Coaches Association.
Right. I mean, when I got my first chance to play varsity basketball, it was a huge step and a feeling of accomplishment, because you look, as you said, like where you come from to where you get to. You know, I was little thinking about the kids who were at the high school wearing the varsity jackets and playing basketball, and I'd finally gotten to that moment, and I just remember wanting to go out and play as hard as I could, and I mean that's what I did. So it was definitely exciting.
Once you got that playing time, did you do anything exemplary that to tell coach, hey coach, you gotta give me some more playing time. I'm gonna help you win. Let me know about that.
Well, I think the biggest role that I played my junior year playing a varsity was when one of my teammates got injured and I had to step into the role of playing a defensive, kind of aggressive-minded player. And I think that's where I kind of stepped in and helped the team in that way.
Was you ready to step in?
I believe so. You know, I'd been lifting weights, been running at practice, so I was ready.
Yeah, Carlos, let me add, just kind of jump in here and add a couple things about Simon. One of the things, in addition to his basketball skill, he also plays baseball, but he also is in the state orchestra. And Simon, tell him what instrument you play.
Yeah, so I've been playing the oboe since the 7th or 8th grade.
Oh boy, aren't you something? The classical musician we have here on the oboe.
Right.
Oh boy, boy.
Here's the deal, Carlos. The district and the state orchestra competitions are in the fall, August and December. And because of his talent, he was able to advance through districts and go to state and so on and so forth. So he was limited in practice time and game time with us the first semester. And so Simon played a bigger role second semester for us, but it was just because he was so talented with the oboe. I think in December you may have missed 4 or 5 games because of orchestra at the state level competition. So, and then he got to participate more second semester.
How did you feel about that, Simon?
Well, it's something that I've had to balance my entire life. Like Coach said, I play baseball as well. I'm in music, and
what do you play in baseball? I know you got the oboe under control, but what on baseball field? What position are you playing?
I'm a pitcher and outfielder, and as of right now, colleges have been offering me scholarships as a pitcher. Is the main thing. So,
what do you lean towards more from a interest standpoint, sports or music, or just academics?
Right. No, academics are a large thing as well. I think my GPA right now is like a 4.3. And
hey man, don't hurt nobody. You put me. Hey, hey,
I
Simon.
gotta brag on myself, you know.
If you don't, let me tell you, Simon. I came into Virginia State my freshman year, 0.7. I didn't know that you had to study to be smart. I thought people were just smart. Yeah, all right. So tell me this. How do your parents feel about you?
I mean, it's always been a busy life, but my parents have been really supportive in letting me accomplish all the things I want to and be all the places that I wanted to be. And as I've gotten older and gotten a car, things have gotten easier. But when I was younger, there was
That
definitely a lot
car
to
makes
do.
it much easier, don't it?
It does, except on the paycheck. That's all. That's the only thing it hurts.
Well, that's just getting you ready for life, bills. Hey, tell me this. What do you have aspirations or plans for your personal play this season?
For this season, I just want to be the best leader that I can to my teammates, and I want to be able to accomplish something as a team and create a community that not only wins games but creates a sense of brotherhood and accomplishment.
What's your mindset? I hate to bring up the darkest of midnights, but last season, how do you? Because you played all 4 years, so you've been with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Talk about the good first. Talk about when y'all were flying high. What was that like for you?
Well, I mean, the good when I was a freshman and sophomore, and I got to see people like Javante Hawkins and Logan. What was his last name?
Jenkins.
Yeah, Jenkins.
And
Going out there and scoring and winning games. That was definitely something to aspire to. And then when we get to the periods where we didn't always win on the scoreboard, it was just more about learning how to become better as teammates, even though we might not win necessarily.
Did you get that attitude from coach or what? Because a lot of times that's what losing is about, learning.
Right. Yeah, no, Coach Hilbert definitely emphasized that to us, whether we were in practice or in games, to keep playing no matter what the scoreboard said and to keep working hard.
So do you have any colleges looking at you from a sports perspective?
Yes, I have 3 or 4 offers for baseball, not for basketball.
All right. Is there anybody that you would like to acknowledge and shout out that has helped you build your skill set and helped you with your education and in your personal life?
Yeah, obviously I'd like to shout out my mother, Lisa Murray, because I talked about my dad, but bring my mom into the mix. And my brother, I can remember from when we were young, we used to play basketball together, and he roughed me up, and it kind of taught me how to, be physical and love the game that way. And then as for academically, I haven't had a single bad teacher as I've been in the Lee Summit School District. So anybody that I've been taught by has been great.
And I'm gonna just go a quick step on this. On a 1 to 10, what's your handles like?
Oh, probably about a 7. It could be a lot better. There.
Yeah, no, Simon does a really nice job. Like he mentioned earlier, he plays extremely hard, and on occasion, particularly on the offensive end, he might be going just a little too fast. But that's okay. That's okay. But I'm really excited for Simon's senior year. I think it's going to be terrific. It's been what he's been building towards for the last 3 years and playing at Campbell 4 years. So I'm really excited to kind of get started and see what Simon's senior year is going to look like. The other thing I'd like to mention, not only is athletic and his music and his academics are really, really strong, he's really well-liked in the community around school. And just last night, we found out that he's one of 4 candidates for Homecoming King.
Oh, baby boy, you got all 8 cylinders. You got it going.
Right. So pretty exciting for Simon right now.
Hey, Simon, so I got on your handles. What's your favorite place on the floor? What's your spot?
Well, it used to be behind the 3-point line, but currently I'm loving dunking. So in the paint.
Heck. Oh, so Are you silky smooth or rough and ready?
I'm definitely rough and ready. I'm gonna push people around.
So you go hard in the paint, bro?
Of course.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Yeah. All right. So as they used to have a game in New York called Ring Alivio, red light, 1, 2, 3. What kind of defense you got? You got a red light or a yellow light, or you just let them run up and down the court on a green light? Can you shut them down, or what's up with that?
No, of course I'm red light.
I'm Coach, this man got a stop sign on that defense or what?
Well, Simon competes.
Now, I know you like the man, but because I'm coming up out there, at least up in North, and you telling me you got a red light, you stopping people, I'm going to check you out. Is he stopping people?
You know, he only gets 5 fouls in a game, so, and he'll use all of them.
He uses them all?
Yes.
All right, well, you're not playing. Let me see, what else did I want to ask you? How do you gel with your teammates from a team standpoint? Do you feel that you got good cohesion?
Yeah, with these group of kids that we have playing at the varsity level that we're working out with, I think there is a lot of good cohesion. But amongst all the teams, I don't really feel like there are certain cliques or certain.
Do you feel you a leader?
I do. I try to be. Try to help.
Coach, is he leading the team? Is he doing what you would have him do?
Right. Yeah. No. The tricky part about this summer is obviously been coronavirus, and it's really limited what we're able to do. Typically, we spend 5 weeks together in June and July. And so we were pretty limited. We were in the gym a little bit in July, but not as much as we want. So I don't think we've necessarily built that group, that tightness, that closeness that we could have if we weren't dealing with the coronavirus. But both Simon and Jeremy are two of the guys that we're leaning on hard this year as leaders, as guys that will show up each and every day, that will do the right thing. They'll help prepare and be focused on doing the right things that will lead to success. And, so we're really excited that both of these guys will be seniors, and they're gonna help us.
Are they captains? Who are your captains, man?
Well, see, that's always an interesting thing. At least I'm in North. We've never voted captains. We've never talked about captains. But at the beginning of a game, obviously the officials gather the captains together, and for me, I just see who shows up. It's kind of an interesting thing, Carlos. Now, I will tell you that it's always been the guys that we would have hoped would be the captains. So it's usually seniors. We've had a couple of underclassmen step into that role, but it's usually seniors, usually a couple guys that, feel pretty confident in that role. And as the game gets ready to start and they're calling for captains, these two guys will just walk over and they kind of pick themselves.
They already know who they are. The team know who they are, and they just fit into the slot.
Right.
All right. Tell me this, Simon. Is there anything, parting words that you would like to let our audience know about you, or anything you'd like to say before we go to your teammate?
I mean, just that I appreciate you taking the time to be here and interview me, and we're gonna be a team to watch this year. So we're gonna.
All right. Believe you me, this is on tape, and we'll see. Cause I'll be coming at you at the end of the season. You said watch you. What did I get? All right.
Well, I got something to hold up with you now.
You got something for me? All right.
Yeah.
All right. Jeremy, put some light on the subject, bro. You got any light in there?
Yeah.
Light yourself up a little bit. Bam.
Is that better?
Yeah, the man said, look at me. All right, Jeremy. Now you know the drill. Tell our audience, go back to your kindergarten, and let's bring it on up to where you're at now. Who helped you? What teams you played for? What coaches you played for?
some of the biggest influencers as like a coach, I'd have to say, is Chris McDonald. The team name was the Titans. I've been playing with them since like 4th grade, and we still kind of play together in like some summer league type games and stuff. And a couple other coaches is I played with Simon with Ross Borelli and Coach Cortez on Next Level, talking about not only helping me on the court but off the court. I feel like those coaches have done a really good job.
All right, run it down. Hold it. Run down the teams you played for right up until you got up there at Lee Summit North. Our people want to know who you are, not who Lee Summit North is. They got a plenty money to do advertisement and everything else. We want to zoom in on you. We want anybody that looks at this to say, oh, I know a little bit more about this guy, Jeremy. I'm going to check him out. He's real interesting. Because, Simon, you have been very interesting, and y'all are the type of athletes that we want to highlight to put the shine on the sport so that people say, oh, he did that. He's got 3 or 4 different things he's involved in and still reaching his goals. And I'm only playing basketball and going to school. I know I can do this. So let the people know who you are. Open up.
So kindergarten through like 3rd grade was upward, which I knew coaches every year. That was just kind of like a rec league. And then 4th grade, that's when I got serious. My first team was the Bill Ware's Blue Jays, and it was led by Bill Ware's son, Tim Ware's. Great coach, great team.
Bill Ware,
that's actually, yeah, that's actually the
county exec.
Yes,
that's my guy. We used to run around, pile around, lunch around. All right.
Yeah, so I played with his team, I think, until like 7th and 8th grade, and then it was kind of weird because a lot of the team went to what was like presentation and parochial schools. So I'd play with them kind of in the summer, but when winter came, they actually had school ball and I didn't. So during school ball, or for them during the winter, I'd play with the Titans, who I talked about, Chris McDonald and all. And so I just played year round ever since 4th grade. And then it wasn't until high school that I joined Coach Cortez at Next Level with Simon. And I've been playing with them for a while. And then this last year, I joined a new team with Coach Birch. It was 8-10 varsity. They used to be called the Pumas, but they rebranded this year. And we played a couple tournaments because of COVID. We didn't get our full strength or our full schedule, but
All right, tell me this. You been in the weight room, son?
Oh, I have.
You around there crashing the boards, coach talking about you making some noise. You doing I like that.
No, I've been really making weights an emphasis. Complete Strength is a place where I've been going to 3 times a week, 4 times a week, which is literally across the street from North with Brian Murrow. He's really helped giving me like a program and strengthen me up in not only weights, but just speed, vertical, all around.
By any chance, are you on a training table?
What do you mean?
All right, you know what? I knew that was going to come up. When I asked a couple of other athletes in some interviews earlier, the coach said, Carlos, that was Burgett's coach who played for K-State. He said, they don't know nothing. None of these kids know nothing about no daggone training table.
right.
But Coach, tell him what I'm talking about.
Well, he's just talking about eating well. At the college level, once you get to the college level, if you're an athlete at the college level, you're drinking protein and they're feeding you all kinds of food so that you add muscle and strength in a hurry.
That growth spurt, and I didn't, and I'll go back and forth with both of y'all because I believe that you have to be a student of the game to really progress. And when you become a student of the game, it's not just about the X's and O's. It's not just about the film and what have you. It's learning the history of the game. It's learning, if I want to get to this level physically, these are the things I need to do. And one of the stories I say that they say, are you familiar with who Alec Burks is?
No.
Tell him who Alex is, Coach.
Right. Alec played at Grandview High School. can't remember what year he graduated, probably 07, 08, somewhere around, maybe closer to 10 or 11. I can't remember exactly.
The bottom line is he grew like 3 or 4 inches in his senior year.
Yeah.
And he was like a lottery pick. He came out early.
Yeah, and went to the University of Colorado.
Yeah. And then went, where the Mormons?
Utah.
Went to Utah for some time. And then went, I'm saying Mr. Nelson like 69. Mine just gone. Need a little help. But why I ask you all about that training table and what have you? Because it's so important for you to take in the right nutrition so that you can put that weight on, so that you can have that energy and you can perform.
Jeremy, tell, like Simon, we talked about some of the other things outside of basketball that Simon's involved with. Tell Carlos some of the other things that you've got going on at school and academically, because just like Simon, you're really, really strong in the classroom.
Because Cascade Sports, when you go to our network, the first thing you see, home of the student athlete.
Outside of basketball, I'm not doing a whole lot. I don't play the oboe, or I don't, I'm not in baseball. But academically, I'm taking classes, taking some business classes, one of them being with Coach Hilbert. And then, I'm also taking anatomy, and, I'm taking classes to where I don't have something set in stone, but I can go down different pathways for college when I do decide.
Do you have any idea what you want to be?
I don't. Coach Hilbert actually asked me this not too long ago, and I told him I don't know yet. But, I'm not going to close any doors. I'm going to try to keep everything open.
Simon, you know what you want to be?
Yes, sir. I would like to have something to do with music, whether it's playing in an orchestra or band professionally, or some type of communications.
What kind of music?
Like orchestral, like playing in a full setting and stuff like that.
You ever play any jazz? I haven't seen no oboe in the jazz, but my family, I've got some jazz greats that come out of my lineage and played with Coltrane and a lot of the well-known jazz artists. Have you ever played any jazz?
No, but I brought it up to my teacher, and we did.
Excellent. I'm shifting back on you, Jeremy. All right. What's your handles looking like on a 1 to 10?
I'm more of I'm going to give myself a 5. I'm not very shifty, but, I'm at the point where I feel comfortable with the ball. I feel like I can get past defenders, but, I'm not going to be that dude who crosses everyone up. And
is that a new thing in the lexicon, shifty? I had asked a player something, and I think it might have been Burgett in the last interview. He said, "Yeah, that guy's real shifty." That's what you do. You tell me this: do you face up and shoot that 3-pointer? A lot of big men now, and I didn't know it until I had some interviews early. When the spring first broke with some real basketball aficionados, and I hadn't even noticed. He said, "Carlos, big men and big women now." I was like, "Do you back them down?" They say, "No, they face up." It's no more backing people down and driving on them. The big men, the 7'2", they facing up, shooting that jump shot. Is that your game?
I definitely feel I have both types of games. I really feel I'm really good back to the basket, and I can just punish my opponents there. But as Coach also said, if I need to
punish my opponents. Ooh, you're a rough character. You're not playing. He didn't say I play with my back. He says I punish them. All right. Go ahead.
No, and then, if by a rare chance I got a bigger defender on me, I can step out and I can take him from the perimeter, and I can shoot the 3-ball and space the court too.
What's your position? What's the position that you like to be set up on the court? Where do you like to get the ball at?
I like to be the big, and I like to typically catch the ball somewhere in the post, high post, and but I just feel as comfortable there as I feel on the outside perimeter.
On a 1 to 10, what's your shot like? Your long range and your mid range.
At least I'm in North. We don't shoot too many mid ranges, but I'd say with a 3-point, I'll give myself like a 7.
So you're going inside or you're outside?
Carlos, the rule is a 3 or a layup. A 3 or a layup.
All right, that's a good rule.
And then get fouled and go to the free throw line.
Hey, I'm either taking my defender one-on-one or drawing a second defender and kicking it.
Tell me this, how good are you? I'm glad you said one-on-one. How good are you on one-on-one isolation?
To be honest with you, I think that's where I excel and that's where I play my best.
Are you looking to go to the next level with the sport to the college ranks?
I am.
Have you had any looks?
Yeah, just this last week I went to a showcase, and the 2 schools I've been talking to was hold on, I can give you the name. It was a school down in Earl, Iowa, and then Southwestern.
All right.
It was
that's all right. Before the season's over, partner, you're gonna have some more schools looking at you.
Hey, that's the plan.
Yeah, that's why you on here. Get more exposure. What I would ask you now, tell me this. Who has been some of the mentors in your life, your personal life?
Baby one's got to be my mom and dad, which is Terry and Marsha Moore. And
shout out, boys. Baby boys looking at you.
And no, my mom's really just been there for me and, on and off the court. And
how do you feel when you see your mom in the stands?
She gets over the top sometimes, but, it's my mom.
Hey, you her baby boy. You don't notice she'll off everybody in the gym for you, boy?
Hey, there's a story where she's been followed into the parking lot, so.
Oh, all right. Yeah, well, hey, listen. You her son, she wants to see you excel. Dad wants to see you excel. And sometimes we just get a little too excited about our genes and our offspring. Tell me this. What do you do when you're not playing? What's your hobby? Tell our audience, no, not just me. Tell our audience what you like to do.
When I'm not training in the weight room or playing basketball, one of the things I enjoy is playing video games, and I like spending a lot of time on that with my friends when, I'm not doing schoolwork, and it's a good way to cool down and relax when you got nothing else to go on.
You the same thing, Simon?
There's not too much downtime now. When I do have downtime, I'm usually eating. So
you all right. Do y'all get along with the system that coach, because y'all have come up under his system? Do y'all buy into his system?
But hey, before they answer that, Carlos, let me just say, I don't know if you've looked at the system at Lee Summit North. Here it is. Spread the floor and play, boys. Move the ball, move your body. There's not a lot of structure to it. Just play.
Hey, coach. Where are you at on your defense? See, I don't see enough coaches stressing defense to they star players. I didn't realize this. After interviewing this summer, maybe 30 college coaches, they say there's a bunch of people that can shoot that ball. They looking for players that can stop that shooter.
Yeah, you know what? That's what they say, but here's the truth.
All right, give it to me, coach.
They can coach defense. They can teach kids to play defense, or they can use the bench to inspire them to play a little defense. They can't always coach scoring. They can't coach those kids that just can fill it up. And so their number one goal, they're always looking for scores. And then they can coach the defense. Sure, they want a kid that'll come in that's already prepared. that's been in a high school program that's emphasized defense. And I think we've done that at least some at North. But don't kid yourself. College coaches are always looking number one if somebody can score. That's what they're looking for.
So you think they got one over on me, or they were trying to make a point to the athletes that look at it?
Sure. You know, they want kids to be able to come in and compete and play defense, definitely. But, you know, they can coach that. They can teach that. They can't always coach those special scores.
When do your season start?
Well, right now, cross your fingers, it's that first week of November that we open up with practice. Now, in the meantime, we've got fall conditioning that we're going to start next week.
And what does that consist of?
Sure. Now, typically, it's a 3 days per week. Right now, they've limited us to 2 days per week. So we're going Tuesdays and Thursdays for 2 hours. And it's a combination of strength and cardio and conditioning, and then some basketball skills, some individual skill work as we move towards November, the first week of November. We've got a pretty good chunk of what I think will be, you know, our first 7, 8, 9, 10 guys that are football players. So they're not with us in the fall. But both Simon and Jeremy don't play a fall sport, so they'll be in the
your team this year, Coach? Give me the real deal. Don't give me the Jake the fake.
Yeah, well, like Simon said, you know, I think we're going to be a team that's obviously coming off last year. We didn't have as much success.
Was that one of your worst years in coaching?
Well, here's the truth. As far
sorry
as
for you last year.
Number of games won, it was lower than typically games that we win, at least some in North. But in terms of coaching, in terms of getting along with the guys, they showed up every day. They worked extremely hard. They were always prepared and focused. And so it wasn't a miserable season to coach because of the relationships and the effort that the kids were putting out. I mean, we ran into some injuries. You know, there were some games where we were playing varsity basketball games with 6 kids.
I remember, and hold it, like I asked a kid, and I'll ask you this, Jeremy, how did you feel when you used to have to ride the bench?
You know, anytime when you ride the bench and you don't see your team succeeding, it's hard. You know, that's for any player. But
how you think that is for the coach when things are going bad and he's just having a miserable personal day, and then he comes to the game and the team plays miserable? How do you as a player give your coach, both of y'all answer this, give your coach consideration what he's going through when he's trying to turn y'all into winners? Jeremy?
You know, that's something I haven't really thought about, but
give it some thought and put that on your teammates' minds also. What is the coaching staff? They got to go home too. They can tell you what to do, but they can't play the game for you. And well, how do you see them when you see people screwing up? All right, Simon.
I mean, what I have to say about that is whether you're a coach, whether you're a player, whether you don't play basketball, we're all human beings. So at the end of the day, coach has done a great job of making personal connections with all of us. So whether it's on the court or off the court, we all want to play together for him and for our teammates. So yeah, no, I mean, when we're having a rough season or in combination with a rough day, you know, it still stays a good atmosphere because we have that connection with him to say, you know, it's going rough, but we're gonna work through it together. Oh,
that's excellent. That's for you to go to the heights that you want to go. You really a lot of times have to feel the lowest. You down on the bottom level, the basement, and so when you get to the penthouse, you be like, yeah, because you know what you had to do to get there. Hey, Coach, with the players, do you have any closing words, Simon, that you would like to impart on a young freshman? Give him some advice.
My biggest advice would be the weight room, because I didn't achieve or understand what the weight room does for anybody when properly done correctly, until like this last year when I just started hitting it pretty much every single day for like the last year consistently, and I've seen growth. And
do you have any other advice as it relates to following instructions, scheduling your time, your books and all that? Tell them freshmen so they don't, they know what's up. Because some of them come think they the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, no, I think it's when you first come to high school, it's a tough balance to find, but you have to realize that the books come first in basketball, any sport that you play, as a facilitator to be able to continue to become academically strong. So a strong mind in the classroom leads to a clear thought and head when you're on the court or doing whatever sport you need to.
I like that. All right. What you talking about, Jeremy?
Looking back on my freshman year, you got to ask, that freshman if they truly want it. Is when you look at our freshman year, there's not a lot of us like from 8th grade into freshman year who stayed throughout the program. We've had people transfer in, and, right now we got a lot of juniors too, but you got to ask, do you want to be a part of it, and are you willing to work hard? And if the answer is yes, you got to be willing to do whatever it takes to be successful. And if you aren't successful like last year, you just got to work even harder.
Excellent. Hey, Coach, what's your closing comments for our audience?
Sure. Well, I just want everybody to know how excited I am for not only season, but for Jeremy and Simon's senior year. I think both these guys have been looking towards this and kind of pointing towards this for 3 years, and it's here, it's upon them. And so I'm really excited for them to go out and play and lead Lee Summit North Bronco basketball. I think one of the things Jeremy just mentioned was this idea of both as 8th graders and 9th graders, the desire, the interest to play varsity basketball. But besides Simon and Jeremy, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong here, is there anybody else in your class that was in the gym with you as an 8th grader at Campbell? I don't think there's anybody left.
Aiden Jonas, and that's it.
Yeah, Aiden. Yeah, who's playing football right now. So we went from roughly 20, 25 kids as 8th graders down to 2 or 3 as seniors. So, it's a 3-4 year commitment, and you've got to continue to work hard and strive and to stay on top of things. The one thing I would like to mention before we get out of here, I just wanted to know why Jeremy has so much Pittsburgh Steelers stuff in his head.
I've been a fan.
Oh boy, Coach, see, I was going to interrupt his interview and say, man, what's that crap on the back of your wall?
He's got a clock. He's got a poster. I thought we were in Kansas City, but apparently we're in Pittsburgh.
I don't care what you say. I'm in New York.
Right. Yeah, but look at your Jets and your Giants. Good Lord, Carlos.
I'm happy for Kansas City, but I got my giant blue on.
Right.
Hey, fellas, you don't know. I'm stealing a line from one of my interviewers. He always closes out, says it was a plum pleasing pleasure to have you on the show. And Coach, next week, I'm looking for you to bring 2 more of your players on so we can talk basketball and talk education and in general, give some of our seniors and juniors more exposure due to this, how things have topsy-turvy with our season.
Sure.
And fellas, I'm wishing you the best. And be the best that you can be. And always remember your alma mater over there with the Broncos. When you leave, make sure you come back and hit Coach up. Hey, Coach, I'm in town. And I would say to you, if you're leaders, let your teammates have a little meeting with them. Let them know they need to appreciate the coaching staff, not just the head coach, because they are shaping you literally. And let them know. Don't wait until, hey, coach, I really appreciate. That's what we need more of. All right, fellas, as we always say in closing, when you invest in your community, you're really just investing in yourself. Good night.
Carlos, thanks so much.
All right, thank you, coach, and pleasure having you fellas on the show.
This program was brought to you by DiCapo's Cookies. Support your local bakers.